Got a book in the mail the other day. Realized it was from Roger Bennett. And I said, Fritzy, we got to get Mr. Men in Blazers, the media network now. He's got an empire. He's Roger Bennett. He's the founder, CEO of Men in Blazers Media Network. Fully British, but fully American as well. It's called We Are the World Cup, a personal history of the world's greatest sporting event. Great to have you back.
Oh, Dan Patrick, it's a joy to see you, beautiful.
How are you? How's morale?
I'm alive, Dan, which is better than the other option, but only just is the honest truth in every regard. These are the best of times, the worst of times. We're 100 days out from a World Cup, and the world is making it quite complicated, I'm not going to lie.
Okay, if you're going to pitch to somebody 30 seconds, and you're going to say, you got to watch the World Cup, how would you use those 30 seconds to say, you got to watch this event?
Oh, tell them to buy my book, because it's a magical telling of the power of the men's tournament, which I've come to realize, Dan. It's like a solar eclipse that engulfs the entire planet for its duration. Who doesn't want to be part of that?
I think that was even less than 30 seconds there.
Well, time is money, Dan. And you know that when the Boston Red Sox play the Oakland Athletics, it's a fantastic game of baseball. It's like chess with chewing tobacco. But when two teams take their nation's shirts onto a football field, their nation's history, their nation's politics, their nation's cultures take the field alongside them. It's a mirror to humanity. It's a mirror to our world. I think Walt Whitman, if he was alive today, he'd be a big football fan. He'd say it contains multitudes. And then the only other thing I'd say before we get into this, in our dark world, our world of chaos, the World Cup, 200 million people watch the Super Bowl, max probably at this point. 5 billion people watch the World Cup. And so it's the last thing that completely, electrically, globally connects us in, please God, a positive way. And we really need that right now. Huh?
Yeah, but you don't shy away from the geopolitical portion of the World Cup. And it's certainly what's going on now. Teams that are countries that are going to be in, like is Iran not going to be in? And then who do you put in if Iran's not going to be playing in the World Cup?
You know who quite possibly could come in if Iran don't get in? Because they're already 36 hours into the weekend's darkness. The head of the Iran Football Federation said, yep, we may not be able to play in this World Cup in Los Angeles and Seattle. It would be Iraq, Dan.
Wow.
To your question, it's why I wrote the book. Which starts in 1978, the first World Cup. I remember every 4 years, it's the spine of my life, spine of so many Americans' life now. This, this incredible tournament that is so rare and almost like, Dylan albums for Dylan aficionados. The World Cup is an alternate way for me of re-examining my own biography. And again, millions of people around the world feel the same. I've always felt the joy of football is that it is a mirror to the world that surrounds it, in all seriousness. It's always been very beautiful to me. When the World Cup was in South Africa in 2010, Mandela's South Africa, and we got to see a whole continent rise and seize the world's spotlight. It's very, very profound. It's very, very beautiful. We come to realize in modern times that the mirror stays true, even when the world becomes chaotic and ugly. It's kind of where we are right now. And as you say, the geopolitics could not be more complicated. It's fairly unprecedented, that this situation, not just the US situation, Mexico, the violence there in Guadalajara, a World Cup city. Let's just say Canada as the third host, looking pretty bloody good right now.
You look at the U.S. team, and it feels like in a different generation with Landon Donovan and Tim Howard, like we knew them. This team, I don't know if they're going to be more talented. I don't know if they're better, but it doesn't feel like we know this American team as much as we did that team, from a few years ago.
Isn't that crazy? Because football's never been more popular in the United States than it is now. The Economist, a couple of weeks ago, revealed that soccer is America's third favorite sport, just pushed out baseball. 10% of Americans say soccer is their favorite sport of choice, baseball at 9%. I was laughing. I went on A-Rod's show and he kept asking me variations of the same question, which was like, when's soccer going to take off in the United States? I was like, hey Rod, it's just edged out your baseball, baby. I felt like I felt like I was saying the world is round, hey Rod, and you are a flat earther. So the sport's never been more popular. We have a young audience that's growing World Cup to World Cup across this nation. And the crazy thing that's happened is, in the olden days, we used to cheer the US team just by default because it was like what you had. But now this young audience, they cheer for Liverpool, they cheer for Arsenal, they cheer for Paris Saint-Germain, they cheer for Barcelona, Real Madrid. They are watching 24/7. And you're right, it does feel like the US team has almost gone into a bubble. And I do hope as one of the storylines, because we've never had more talented male players individually than we currently have right now, playing on bigger teams in bigger games in bigger tournaments. Our women kick ass and take names and actually win things. But the men's team need to make some noise at this tournament to make our nation really care.
Does Christian Pulisic want to be the face? Does he want to be bigger? Because you have to put yourself out there to want to be the face of U.S. soccer.
You will have to get Christian Pulisic on to answer that question himself. He is
We've tried. He doesn't do much.
Who doesn't say yes to DP?
I agree.
Not okay. Get Fritzy on the case, man. I mean, I'll say I first interviewed Christian when he was 16. He is the most talented, the most accomplished young male footballer our nation's ever produced in terms of playing in the biggest games for the biggest teams, consistently scoring. Clint Dempsey is the most remarkable in terms of his thriving in Europe. What Christian has done is without a doubt what he can do with a football is without a doubt peerless. He's also incredibly quiet. He's also incredibly introverted. But he's also the gentleman who's cursed early by a reality TV show at a porn store where they were trying to explain how much a Christian Pulisic signed jersey should be. And the porn shop owner goes, oh, dude's like the LeBron James of soccer. So that's kind of cursed him. And he is the commercial face. You'll see him in every ad, other than the ones Sir David Beckham is going to be all over our World Cup. But given the choice, does he want to do it? The honest truth is he's made it very clear he doesn't. He loves playing football. It's where he speaks. I mean, athletes like this in the NBA and the NFL, they like to do their talking on the court. That's who Christian Pulisic is in his heart and soul.
Pulisic reminds me of Mike Trout from the Angels. Mike Trout, it's like we're waiting for him to show his personality. He's not going to. Hey, you got to be the face of the sport. It's not happening here. It's like, Weston McKennie might be the guy that people focus on and go, all right, that guy, he wants to be maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Richards, who plays for Crystal Palace in the Premier League, this child of Birmingham, Alabama, who, has made it to the Premier League.
I've been
dropping
names
dominating.
You have not really acknowledged.
I'm bloody blown away. Dan, in your arc, can I just say, I mean, I tell a story in the book about how I started to do Morning Joe in 2010, way ahead of football really taking off here. Joe Scott would just love the Premier League, would have me on. It was crazy. Like they'd be doing like stagflation, the recession in the economy with Mike Bloomberg. And then they'd be like, and here's Roger Bennett. And I'd be like, yo. So I'd drop in. And the second time I was on, Tom Brokaw stopped me and goes, yo, 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 yo. And I was like, what, Tom? And he goes, why are we talking about soccer on money when we have baseball and young Americans love baseball and we should be talking about baseball? And he went off on me for 5 minutes. I didn't get a word in. But in my own head, I was like, I can't interrupt Tom Brokaw. It's like the Queen. You don't interrupt the Queen. And he danced on my grave, spat me out. And I walked off set without getting a word in. I felt like that big. And they said, come on next week, Roger. I was like, really? You want me on after that man has just emasculated me? And every time for 2 years, every time he was on set, I'd be like, get Brokaw off. And they'd wheel Brokaw off. They'd wheel him off.
I like it.
Off you go, Grandpa. And then 2 years on, they had him on, and I was like, "Get Brokaw off!" They're like, "You got to go on, going live, 3, 2, 1." And I started. I was like, Manchester, and Brokaw goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!" And I was like, "What, Brokaw? What do you want, man?" And Brokaw goes, "I used to hate soccer." I was like, "I know, you scarred me for several years, Tom." And he goes, "And now, every Christmas, I go with my son-in-laws to England to watch 4 or 5 Premier League games, and we fly coach." And I realize when we've got Tom Brokaw in our football camp, tomorrow night in Houston, we're doing a live show with J.J. Watt, that child of Wisconsin who grew up playing hockey and gridiron football. When we've got Brokaw and we've got J.J. Watt and we've got Dan Patrick dropping names, I think we've kind of made... Is this the moment football makes it in America?
I think so. Roger Bennett, the founder, CEO of Men in Blazers Media Network, and his book released today, We Are the World Cup, a personal history of the world's greatest sporting event. But you bring up an interesting point of you're building a brand in a country, soccer, men's soccer, trying to build a brand in the same country here. And the challenges of being able to do that, it feels like you've been more successful than maybe the U.S. men's team has in building that brand.
Well, yeah,
why?
It's the story of my lifetime is coming over here, 1994, the last time the Men's World Cup was here. Going into the World Cup, there was a study released. I tell this story in the book, where they said soccer is the 67th most popular sport in America. Tractor pulling is 66. Again, everyone taking a dump on soccer. They were like doomsaying, like, this is going to be a disaster. No one's going to go to the games. I went to the game in Chicago. I didn't have any money for a ticket, just to mill around in case no one turned up, to try and look like a third cousin at a wedding, just like to make the background in the photos kind of feel a little lively. It was mobbed. Americans love a circus. They love an excuse to daytime drink. Still the best attended World Cup ever. It will be broken, please God, this summer. And it was meant to make America a football-loving nation, 94, like space to Captain Kirk. The final frontier was what the US was, but it didn't. It didn't happen overnight. Instead, it's happened organically, authentically. Instead of soccer becoming like a yo-yo or a hula hoop, like an overnight sensation, a fad, the roots have really deeply, beautifully. It's been the story of my life, Dan, watching young Americans, our audience, 18 to 24, fall in love with soccer, men's soccer, women's soccer. It's an enormous Hispanic audience in the United States. And Americans love the best. You're drawn to the best. The NFL, best in the world. Sorry, Canadian Football League. The NBA, best in the world. And the complicated thing for soccer, Dan, is that the best in the world is played in England, the Premier League. And ultimately, that's where the audience has really been captivated with the rise of streaming, the rise of cable, being able to see games live every week, follow along via the internet. That changed everything, allowed young Americans to connect to these teams from Los Angeles as if they were in Liverpool. And that's what's kind of driven the connection. What's amazing is that young Americans have now fallen in love. Like young Americans like Tom Brokaw have fallen in love with the sport. What's amazing is, and is not discussed enough, the Premier League is now owned majority by Americans. The most, over half the teams have American owners, not just the Red Sox, Tom Werner, John Henry running Liverpool, the Dodgers, Todd Burley and his group running Chelsea, Manchester United, the Buccaneers group, the Glazers for good or for bad, and so on and so on. It's incredible. Like, America, we are essentially, after this World Cup, going to be taking football, again, it's complicated, for good and for bad, into the American age, which is crazy.
Give me the best case scenario for this United States team.
Oh, Dan. I mean, football, if it's not about optimism and hope and delusion, then I don't know what it is. And I dream of these boys, Tyler Adams, this young guy from Wappingers Falls, New York, who drove 6 hours every day for 5 days a week for 7 years to train in New York City. I mean, the sacrifice, the dreams, the hunger. I dream for them. I really do. I mean, the bottom line is, it's crazy. Our women kick ass and take names. Our men in this nation, where we put a man on the moon, we invented the Krona, amongst other things. We've won one bloody knockout game in going back to George Washington in the World Cup. That's crazy. Morocco got into the semi-final with joy and verve and audacity. We've won one knockout game in our nation's history.
You're
that
stalling. I need to know, what is the best case scenario here?
What am I going to say? We're going to win it all. It's what I dream of every night. That's the best case scenario.
Do you
there
think
is no
that could happen?
I will take that bet on the from you, Dan, if you believe that. I hope it happens once in my lifetime, Dan. I don't ask for much, man. I don't ask for much. Look,
what if England won?
Oh, they'll be unbearable, won't they? They'll be unbearable. They'll be unbearable. What if England win? America, get ready for the sight of grown men bending over and, all I can say is firing fireworks out of cavities you did not know it was possible to fire a firework out of. It's crazy, man. You've just asked me the equivalent of what if Charlie Brown can kick a field goal with Lucy holding. I mean, England loses. England self-sabotages. England creates trauma. That's what England does. England winning.
Is anybody better at losing than England?
Oh, why did the Chicago White Sox just pop into my head and you caused me pain? No. I mean, above my head, I have a book which is a biography of English World Cup campaigns.
You also have the Tracy Chapman album over your shoulder.
Oh, Tracy, come on my show. You're the one guest we've never had. She was a soccer player at Tufts, 3 goals, 2 assists. Just come on, come be with me. No, you know why I have that on there? It's because when my team, I support Everton, we're very bad at football. When we lose, which is often, I put Tracy Chapman Fast Car on and I realise the agony I'm feeling is nothing compared to the pain that Tracy knows. In the epigraph of my book, I used a line from the Uruguayan poet Eduardo Galeano, who said, "Football is a pleasure that hurts." And so England, they hurt the nation. They raise their hopes. They shatter them. The book I have above my head is called 40 Years of Shite. Am I allowed to say that on the show? Which just kind of captures up where they are. I support America now anyway, baby. So I honestly don't care.
He's Roger Bennett, founder, CEO of Men in Blazers Media Network, and the book released today, we're 100 days out, We Are the World Cup, a personal history of the world's greatest sporting event. Pleasure to talk to you again. Good luck with the book.
Danny, thanks for having us. I love you. I love your team. It's really a joy to be with you. Courage.
Thank you, bud.